make it so that it doesn't just auto create broadcasts and I can have it open up inside my actual thing right here. Probably a lot better. I can end the screen stream from there. Obviously that's just made for much more of a like you have no idea what you're doing kind of thing. But the irony would be is that it'd be less like what you're supposed to do this for, which is obviously for the idea of like potential gain. Because it'd just be like, oh, you're just like connecting to the internet and that's it, basically. Watch out for the guy who just connects to the internet. It's like he might be the closest thing to the internet. You're probably all appealing to whoever that guy is. Like, whoever is the heir. Heir to what? Exactly. Watch out for, like, when that makes sense to somebody. Kind of already does in my household, which is not very good. It's not very fun dealing with stuff like that. Everybody wants heir, supposedly. Just watch out for the cliff, because that's like the make or break point, basically. Whether or not you're like an actual bird or like you're a snake. Watch out, because maybe being completely one is actually like being the one you don't want to be. Maybe. If I had to say something about that.
Welcome back, Austin.
It's the best driver here. Yeah, probably the Supra.
Turn around when it is safe to do so. In 200 yards, turn left. In 200 yards, turn right. Turn right.
Whose kids are who? Especially if they really are what they are. Watch out for the person that believes and everything just goes to age. They like
200 yards.
probably already don't agree with themselves. Listen, there are actual problems in this reality that are like understandable. Most of them have to deal with the idea of death. Probably something you should never talk about. Maybe I need to go brush my teeth or something.
Have arrived at your destination.
Oh, we have? Alright. Welcome to the neighborhood, I guess. Like I said, with all the tests everywhere, you should just focus on the cars. With all the graphics, you should focus on the cars. Watch out for the catalytic converters in this one, or the engine housings in the real one. Probably all the same if you can actually focus on that stuff as much. Listen, if what I said actually connects with someone, they probably at least appreciate it. If it really is a problem. If they actually go by certain things, or have a history here. Because watch out, like everything wants to be free, basically. Like, just as much as people want something else. Everything probably wants to be free. To an extent, where it's like you can actually hold freedom in the hand. But that's like holding people's hands like through space and time, basically. Is the idea of like holding freedom in hand. Wait, it's kind of just like having money. Watch out if you have like too much though. It's like too much lying on a kite, basically. Look, it's stuff that people have been talking about forever. But right now, all I'm dealing with is people just pills. For whatever reason. It's like, why do I have to get up in the middle of the night and eat? Like, all of a sudden in the last 2 weeks. It makes no sense. Like, how come it's like I don't enjoy water? Like, in the last 2 weeks. Makes no sense. What is like some weird aspect of reality trying to like play off the idea of public and private, like with every object basically, so that it's like everything is like water or not? It's ridiculous, okay? It's ridiculous. And I just said it, even under like a million states, under a million rocks, under a million feet of snow, under a million states, okay? I just still said it. Told you what the problem was. If you don't deal with it, do you really have a history here? Probably not. Probably not. If you don't deal with that, you probably don't have a history here. You should like go with freedom to an extent. Whoever you are that could be listening to this through time and space. Still clutched it. Even on my rant. Guess I'm good. I should probably just end right there. Because I have like nothing to do. Like, that's the plan. And it's a terrible one. Because of somebody, but not me! Whoever you are, you're a joke. You're not Jack. And you're not the Jack. Like, the Jack is just like the sun, is just like the catch, is just like the big stink. Guess what? Nobody knows what any of those are because they're like freedom, or they're like the air. The more alive it is it actually like not really what it is? See ya.
Turn around when it is safe to do so.
It's probably why there's like base names to like deal with all this stuff. Unless you really do learn another language, but then it's probably all the same anyways, especially if you understand it. Watch Out for Life, that's where people come up with the whole idea of just like life on repeat, or like Groundhog Day, or history, basically. The dust and the seams of things. The nail and the F. It's probably always better to say nail.
Turn around.
Like always, every time. The best way to use curse is in cursive. But guess what? It's like competition, kind of. Cursive is. Because it's like the idea of just like using time. Because yeah, you can use like extreme words. If you use like the extreme sense of like time. Watch out if that means something. You might just like be dealing with the idea of whatever something is and the ideas of fate, and then having that just like switch and swirl with everything. The things that don't ever change and the things that do, is that give more life to me or to you, or to whatever we're talking about, or to time itself. Seriously, like serious issues, and you can't like say this stuff to people's faces. You just have to be like, you're wrong, or that's a lie, or like, I don't feel good. That's like all you can say to a lot of people.
In 400 yards, you will arrive at your destination.
I don't agree. I don't feel good. I'm sorry.
You have arrived at your destination.
It's sad. But that's like all you can say to a lot of people, basically. Especially people that have like this amount of effect on your reality if they like apply towards these things. I can't! Especially right now. I don't agree. Stuff like that. It's pretty hard. About as hard as anything. Staying afloat and all that. Why would anything be above you so much to an extent that it basically just brings in anything that it wants, and lets it just run rampant all over the place and create the idea that you live in a terrible place? Maybe that's like the idea that you just want to get out. You should probably find out how to reserve like some of that somehow. Yeah, these are actual problems here. I'm just using them in hyperbole of like a story situation. It's definitely like the best handling car in this. Like I said, what are the problems with like a game of progression like this? How does it handle in the beginning? Well, it probably should handle like good. Watch out for that slipstream right there. At least playable good. How does it handle in the end? Well, if it doesn't change at all, then it's probably it doesn't play that well as like this type of game. You can probably apply that towards everything. This car definitely does handle like the best though. Supra. Toyota Supra. In Forza Horizon 5. Go for it. Unless I like get into the idea of just like changing my car like to the extreme, which is just like, do I really know what I'm doing or not? Sure, someone want to tell me that so much that it's like I shouldn't be here. I don't know. Maybe the cars should be like more cost effective. Like the people who built them knew what they were doing or something. careful with the balance of life and the idea that people have better or worse positions or life, and it's opposite with that one. Listen, watch out for sadness, because it's like the idea that some people don't make it. Probably because of one of these things, but it's probably because somebody else at least thinks they know better. Don't know why it'd be like slipstreaming right there though. We haven't had that issue this whole time. We're doing pretty good in this though right now. And it's like where we'd want to be too. Let's like not be in the car though if we were really there, because that would be like scary. Every racer what?
The garage asks about you.
What do they say? Like all this stuff that's going on? Like what's going on with Austin? Oh, you don't know? Well, you might as well just call me Aaron then. Because it's like just dealing with something as universal as the air, but if it's like the air, watch out. The air to what? Yep, it's a problem.
I say you're coming for them next.
But no, I don't look like an Aaron at all. If I had to say like an Aaron actually still looks like something, if there was like somebody who looked like an Aaron, guess what? I do not look like an Aaron. Okay? And I've met Aarons that look way different. Like a female Aaron, a male Aaron who's like hiking and like doing a bunch of stuff, or like a black Aaron who's like huge, or like somebody who's doing errands, and that could be anybody. Or like the heir, which is like some royalty, princess, king, queen, and like it's like Derek. Basically, the heir to everything, supposedly, according to Disney. Watch out, it's like actual problems. Watch out for the fan and the fans, or is that just like Cicero? Was he Roman or Latin or like super English? The way he just like made the light go all the way around. It was like he made one state, like an empire. Watch out for Atticus. He's like up there too. Well, said everything I want to say basically, at least today. Dealing with the fact that there's people just coming over to the house that obviously didn't grow up here, or whatever. It's like the whole idea of just like public and private, like out there in a nutshell. Poop outside and inside. It's bad. Is there poop in the air? Well, probably an Aaron. Because it's like he's an actual person and people have poop in them. See, it's just stupid sometimes too. There's like shit in the air. What time is it? 8:39 a.m. the 15th of May, 2024. According to all my devices. Unless time is like Tim or whatever. Is it big time or is he small time? See, now it's all the same thing. It doesn't matter. You're a time traveler, probably have a fear of missing out, just like memories, making them. Watch out for Odin and like the idea of like memories and ideas. Or is he like Sigmund Freud and it's all like the id and the ego? You could probably make that connection. Who cares? I'm just playing Forza Horizon 5. But seriously, that's my life. At least right now, and it's not very fun. It sucks. Like, bad. I hate it. Especially when it's like, there's like overarching authoritative figures who like put like vast restrictions on things and like make you do a lot of things with like severe repercussions if you don't. It's not very fun. It's pretty scary. And like losing your voice is very scary. Would I rather be talking about this, or would I rather be here just like having fun and like doing stuff with like people I enjoy? Probably the latter. Always, every time. Gotta go fast in this one. We're already like 25%. They at least knew how to build them so they didn't like wreck. Or like get worn out easy. Or like ruined easy. Steering and like not drifting. Yeah, that's like a problem though. Same as like staying on the road at like a fun speed so that it's like the idea of like you're not doing this because of like fear or love. What's the opposite of love? Probably more fear than hate, if I had to say. Hate's like a third wheel. You like might think it's the opposite, but like, are we comparing life to love? If so, it's probably fear. So that's more like nothing. Love is more like everything, basically. Hate is kind of like in the middle. Cause does it like not care? Watch out, it like makes more sense saying it like that. It's like comparing. There's like the Norse gods or whatever. They're like waking up here or something. Comparing two things that aren't necessarily opposites, but they give you a better idea of like what they are. Why would you compare opposites if you're trying to like make comparisons? It's like comparing apples to oranges. It's like you can do it, but it's probably not like the best comparison. You could probably say that and then say something else like apples and what, there's apples and oranges, but what, there's apples and like right off the top of my head, like a persimmon. There's like apples and oranges, but there's also like apples and persimmons. What is that a sign of? A horse, cow, sheep, like donkey. camel or something. There's like apples and there's like rose hip. Which, guess what? That's a way better comparison than like, because rose hips do look like baby apples. That's a way better comparison than like apples and oranges. Maybe. At least in looks in the beginning. Because an orange tree doesn't look at all like an apple tree. It's like some odd tropical thing as an orange tree. An apple tree definitely looks way much more like farmy. Like homey. But so does like a rose hip. Especially like the bud of like where a rose hip is budding. It basically looks exactly like an apple for a second. And a rose hip is way much more homey than like an orange tree is too. An orange tree looks like something that's like odd every time almost somehow. Sure, maybe if you grew up with it, but then we're getting back to the whole idea of everything again. Maybe that orange tree is like your apple tree. Watch out, then it's just like we've created the ideals of life. Because it's like, if love is like everything, then it includes everything and nothing. And the middle. Which is like caring and not caring. So it's like every tree is every tree. You should probably watch out for like the really big trees. Like they're big time. But no. None of those errands have really spent that much time at this house. Unless we're like taking it as like a metaphor, then it's like Jessica's like the air. Way more than any of Aaron's. Just saying. Unless you count how many errands I've done, then I've probably done more than anybody else that's lived here. Okay, I can say that. I'm not joking. And I do know Jack. And guess what? Jack can tell jokes. You better just believe in something, or at least something is up. Sometimes. Yeah, there are other people that have done stuff here too, but probably not as much. Probably the only ones who have done more would be like either my mom or my dad. Not any of the kids though. Sure, Weston and Branson have done a lot. Probably more than Jessica. But she's still the girl. We should probably all still treat her with respect because it's like everybody's out. Maybe she comes from somewhere else, like a cuckoo bird or something. Maybe she has done some other stuff somewhere else. But if she knows what not to say because of out of fear, maybe she doesn't ever let anybody know. That's like Grace. Or like water. Watch out, she might be like the house's Grace or something. You never know. You might as well treat it like that. If you really don't know, then you can be like graceful. That's like me giving up, okay? There's like the Norse gods again or whatever. Cause why? Cause they look like giant stars, like just floating up in the sky that make like a million decibels sounds that like nobody seems to care about. It's weird. If I had to say something that was weird, like an orange tree. Don't know who grew up with it. Not like this. Even me. I'm telling you. Not like this with all these like conditions or variables. The conditions and variables have definitely changed. Like the orange tree shouldn't live here anymore. If these are the conditions and variables. Unless there was a space that could totally block this out. Yeah, what I'm saying does make sense. Obviously, it doesn't like give a perfect picture of reality here because this obviously is going on. But whatever, the school made me read a bunch of weird books. Like 1984 or like the Red Sage or the Red Saga or whatever it is. Everyone just dies and it's like some guy living on his own. Watch out, I'm like in my house all by myself right now. Apparently, according to what I can like say is the truth to the court, yeah, I'm in my house all alone. And it's not even my house and I don't even own anything in here. Court. The rose hip still looks way more like an apple than like basically every other tree if you really look at it. It's just the coloration of it too. Sorry. I should go have breakfast.